Today we're going to talk about something with well, a huge name, Project Humanity. And get this, they're calling it the Manhattan Project of AI.
So the whole thing kicks off not with some big statement, but with a question. And it's a big one. It's really asking us to just stop for a second and think about why we build things. What if all of it, the laws, the banks, even our cities, what if they were actually built to serve us instead of controlling us? I mean, that's a pretty radical place to start, right? And it sets the stage for a pretty radical idea.
All right, so let's dig into that name, a new Manhattan Project. I mean, when you hear Manhattan Project, you immediately think of this massive, history-altering mission, right? But here's the twist. This time, the whole mission is flipped. It's not about creating something to destroy, it's about building something to create.
And that contrast is just wow. It's super stark when you put them side by side. The first Manhattan Project was all about this crazy paradox. Build the ultimate weapon to maybe, hopefully, end a war. But Project Humanity, it takes that exact same level of insane ambition and just aims it in the complete opposite direction. The goal here is to build something that secures life, that makes it better.
And if that doesn't tell you how big they're thinking, I don't know what will. Just let that phrase sink in for a second. The operating system of civilization itself. We're not talking about a new app here or some new startup. This is about rewriting the source code for how we all live together.
Okay, so why? Why go this big? Why such a radical proposal? Well, the argument is pretty simple. Our current operating system is broken. It's buggy. And it's not some abstract failure. It's failing real people every single day.
And yeah, these aren't just statistics on a page. These are real human stories. You've got a young woman in Lagos who can't get a loan because some algorithm doesn't see her potential, a farmer in Bangladesh who loses everything because the supply chain is a mess, or a super smart teenager in São Paulo who just can't afford to go to school. In every single case, it's the system that's letting the person down.
And here's the really important part. These aren't just unlucky, isolated incidents. No, they're the status quo. They're what you'd expect to happen with the system we have now, and that's all the proof you need that we don't just need a little patch or an update. We need a complete rewrite. It's not a nice to have, it's a necessity.
Okay, so that's the diagnosis. The system's broken. So what's the fix? Well, that's where we get into the actual blueprint for Project Humanity.
First things first, what is Project Humanity? And this part is really important. It's not a company. You can't buy a stock in it. It's not a product. Think of it more like a blueprint or a framework. The whole idea is to completely rebuild how we, as humans, work together with all the smart machines we're building.
And this blueprint is built on 4 main pillars. Okay, first up, a public command center. You can kind of think of this as a universal translator that lets all the different AIs and autonomous systems actually talk to each other and work together. Then you've got decentralized finance. The goal there is simple. Give people, not big institutions, real ownership of their own money and assets. The third piece is a communication network that's built to be censorship-proof, to make sure the truth can actually get out. And last but not least, a new governance framework, which is all about giving leaders better tools to, actually lead instead of just control.
All right, so we've talked about today's problems and the plan for tomorrow. But what does that future feel like? What would it actually be like to live in that world? Remember those stories we talked about earlier? The ones about the system failing? Well, now let's flip them. Imagine a world with this new blueprint. That mother in Nairobi, she gets her microloan, no collateral needed, because a smarter, fairer AI understands her situation. That teacher in Aleppo, she's teaching students all over the world, right from her living room, on an open network. And that refugee in Greece, they own their digital identity. It's theirs, it's secure, and it goes with them wherever they go. And the point here is that this isn't some sci-fi fantasy. It's not just wishful thinking. These kinds of positive stories become, well, almost inevitable. They become the default outcome. But, and this is a really big but, only if we actually build the infrastructure that makes them possible.
And that leads us to the final and maybe most important piece of this whole thing. This isn't just about code and servers. It's not a tech project. It's a people project. It's about creating a totally new social contract between humanity and the technology we create.
So what are the terms of this new deal? Well, they're pretty clear. Number 1, no more black box algorithms. They can't act in the dark. Number 2, no citizen is invisible. Everyone counts. And number 3, no corporation gets a free pass. They are held accountable. These are presented as the absolute non-negotiables.
And really, it all boils down to one incredibly powerful idea, a total flip of the script. No system owns the people own the system. That's the endgame, putting the power right back where it belongs.
So who's this message for? Who needs to step up? The answer is pretty much everyone. This can't be some government project, and it can't just be a couple of people in a garage. For this to work, it's got to be a massive team effort. We're talking banks, the big tech giants, innovators, regulators, dreamers, engineers, everybody.
And that's where we leave it, with this big, open question hanging in the air. A question that's not just for them, it's for all of us. When people look back at this moment, when humanity was right on the cusp of this explosion of intelligence, what are they going to say? Who stood up to guide it? It's a direct challenge, really. A reminder that what we do right now, it matters a lot. The only question left is, what's our answer going to be?